Today we discuss on important topics. How we study subject. That means we are student. How we study our books or how we study our subject. That means you always do it by read and write way and others way also. That means first one little child first that means learning time he also write more, okay, or someone's are read more, and in this way obviously he that means recite many times and he written many times, okay, then obviously he are that means capable to understand these subjects, or obviously that means remind this subject more. Obviously I do it this way. That means I also any subject, any topics, I first that means read it and then learn, then should learn something and then write something. Then obviously if you not, that means this was is not in my that means this one is not in my that means memory, or I'm not that means memorize this one, again I also read it and again I also write it, okay. After some few days spent, then I also again I read it and again we write it, or I write it. In this way we also spend our more valuable time, and that means spend for just one, that means just one subject, that means just one topics. If you want to learn, then spend more times in this way. So how we learn, then this process, this procedure are also more fruitful for us. First, you also known about that. mm, if you read 7 times and if you write 1 times, then this one is more better for yourself. That means any topics, if you read 7 times, then you memorize 10% of them, of these topics. Then if you write 1 times, then you also memorize this 10% of this topic, okay. So that means you also think about that, why I read more, I write more, because write is also time contained matter. That means if you write more, then time is more needed, okay. So someone's, and obviously some spaces copies are needed, pen or pencils are needed. So if you write, then this one is needed, and if you read, then nothing is needed for yourself. So if this instrument is that means more in your hand, then you also use it and write more. This one is need for your memorization. And if this instrument is not available for your in front of you, or in that means this one is not available to you, then you also read more, okay. But obviously this one is not this good technique for reading or for study one topics. So what is good technique for study one topics? This one is necessary for any student, and obviously for any learner person. That means who want to learn something, want to study more, any storybook and others book also. But obviously any literature subject, you read and recite more, then you also remind more, that means memorize more. And uh, that means you belonging to science, or mathematics, or this topic physics, chemistry, that means if you belong to this science domain, then obviously that means pen, pencil and papers or copies are needed. That means that means write is necessary, that means something have to write, that means some portions if you understand more, but this one is obviously if you write more, then this one is more that means understandable and more memorize, no, more memorize, and obviously you that means understand better. So this was obviously written is necessary for those topics. Okay, so first thing is that means you spend times on reading and then writing, and in this way also you memorize some portions of these topics. Okay, but how you develop your that means subject, or you develop your knowledge. Okay, or if you that means how you that means how you want to memorize this knowledge. Obviously this was is not needed for our that means this was is not available for ourselves, but this was is first and foremost need, that means how we think. Okay, that means any topics, how we read, by my mind or by my brain. So how we write, we also write in hand, but obviously here brain and mind are also that means necessary, also used more. Okay, so that means if we think about that, if I we spend sometimes reading and spend sometimes in writing, and then we also think about that what we read, what we write. Okay, then this one obviously then this one obviously then quickly memorized, or obviously remind more days. Then this subject or this topics um, also done that is also understandable and also memorizable, and you also that means mm, capable to learn these topics more better way. Okay, so first then three things is necessary. First you reading, spend sometimes in reading, then spend sometimes in written these topics, and obviously after that you also think about these topics. Okay, then you that means remind mm, more days, and obviously that means you understand these topics more better way, and obviously you develop these topics because you think about that. That means you also capable to develop these topics, and obviously you that means you also invent something in this way. So thinking is more necessary. Some great persons are obviously great. Why they are great? Because they are create something, they are invent something. How they are invent something, how they create something, they also gather knowledge by reading and writing, and after that they also think about that. Okay, and think about something more, think about something new. Okay, then he or she also want to be great one. So first first need is any that means first need for learning is that if you study more, study in a suitable way, first reading, then writing, then spend some times in thinking. Okay, so in this way you also that means You also that means follow a suitable path for learning or for studying. Okay, today I stop here.